podcast. I'm joined by Spark. Spark, how you doing today?
Doing good. How's it going, guys?
Doing amazing. Jumpman, of course, we are joined by the legendary signature hunter, moviegoer, X-Men fan, Marvel fan, Jumpman. Jumpman, how are you?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good.
And then, of course, we are joined by none other than JD. JD, how's it going?
I'm doing well. How's everyone else doing?
Doing well.
Doing good. So, look, guys, lots of big movies coming out. And, obviously we have Deadpool Wolverine coming out, which is, a lot of people are hyped for this movie. We got Despicable Me 4 coming out. They're making a new Beverly Hills Cop movie. So much good stuff coming out. And, Hollywood's been weird lately. There's been a lot of pushback against the quote unquote, kind of woke agenda that's going on in Hollywood is what they're calling it. And, in my opinion, okay, we've gotten a lot of flops, Marvel, has had that happen, but we've also had, some successful movies come out. And I just want to touch on some things here. I know none of you guys are probably fans of Mad Max at all. Is this correct?
I have not seen the series.
Yeah, I've not seen. I've been meaning to see Mad Max. I just haven't gotten around to it.
No,
It's on my watch list.
That's okay. So the original series came out in the late 70s and all the way up to the mid to late 80s, that was the Mel Gibson ones. So they have they're it's directed by all of them are directed by George Miller, but the first three, Mad Max, and there's Mad Max the Road Warrior, then Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome. Those ones are those ones star Mel Gibson as Mad Max. And a lot of people would say that those are the quintessential movies, kind of like the original trilogy is for Star Wars. In 2015, they rebooted the series, or I guess you could call it a reboot. But this one stars what's his name? Tom Hardy as Mad Max, and it stars Charlize Theron as Furiosa. Now, this was supposed to be a trilogy of movies, and Mad Max Fury Road was acclaimed. And look, I mean, as someone who's seen the whole series, as someone who has been a fan of action movies my whole life, I can definitively say that this is one of the best, visually best, and just well-directed action movies of all time. I would say Fury Road came out in 2015. The problem is they were development, and it was in development hell. And so 9 years later, we're getting a prequel called Furiosa. But kind of going back to Mad Max, for those of you who do not know, this is kind of a post-apocalyptic world, very brutal, but it's just really, really great. It's just a really great series. You don't have to watch every single movie to understand it. I would say if you are going to go and watching Furiosa, I recommend. Actually, you know what? You don't even have to watch any of them to watch Furiosa because it's a prequel. So, but yeah, like if you're fans of cinema, if you're fans of action movies, definitely watch these movies. They're meant to be watched in theaters. The sound is amazing. Chris Hemsworth is just amazing in Mad Max Furiosa. But the reason why I want to talk about it today on the podcast is because for whatever reason, it's not doing amazing at the box office. It just really isn't. It's had one of the lowest, Memorial Day box office weekend since Casper. And it's just lots of just financially bad things. Everyone who sees the movie is like, oh my God, this movie's amazing. Right. And when I watched it, is this the best movie in the universe? No, but this is definitely one that you got to see it in IMAX. You know what I mean? It's really like one of those movies. But I don't know, we'll start with Jumpman, because you watch Captain Marvel and you've watched, a lot of these female-led movies. Let me ask, why do you think that, some of these movies aren't doing good at the box office? Do you think there's the kind of, hey, Hollywood's going woke and we don't, go woke, go broke? Or do you think there's a deeper explanation to this?
I think it's that. And there's also the pandemic that messed a lot of stuff up, and I think it's just changed people's viewing habits.
Okay.
So I think it's a combination of those things.
No, that's good. That's good. JD, what about you? What are your kind of thoughts? What do you think is causing this kind of rift with movies these days?
For me, I think it's due to the pandemic. A lot of the movies that came out during the time span of the pandemic were mostly went straight to the streaming services, such as like HBO Max. Well, now it's called Max. Like and Netflix and Paramount, all that stuff like that. I think people are just used to that now. Where hey, I could pay $20 to rent this movie off of my streaming service, or wait, like such like Disney Plus for example, they just have to wait a couple months and the movie will be released on Disney Plus, such as like say for example, The Little Mermaid. Like I think a lot of people are just wanting to sit in the comfort of their own home and just relax and not having to have the hassle of going to buy a movie ticket, going to concession stands, like going to find their seats and then listening to people like hackling and talking during the movie instead of like being in the comfort of your own home, your own living room, and then just doing whatever while watching the movie. I think that's what the pandemic like kind of like fast forward that to.
Right.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Jumpman?
JD mentioned The Little Mermaid and the live action one we're talking about, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I saw that. And I was expecting it to be terrible, like basically super woke, whatever. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I thought it was pretty good.
It has its flaws, but it's one of the better ones overall.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like in general, like people now don't have to.
Oh.
Theaters now is going to be on streaming service. And the thing is that we already paid so much for our streaming service. Why are we going to pay another $20, $25 for a movie ticket, when it's going to come out on the streaming service anyway?
I'm going to explain why here in a second. But first,
I'm just saying from a consumer's perspective,
Of course. So I'm going to explain why from here in a second. But first of all, Spark, how are you doing? What are your thoughts on this conversation so far?
Yeah, it's interesting. I actually asked a girl, I just met her. She's my Lyft driver. And I asked her out, you want to go on a date? She's like, yes. And okay, so tonight they're going to show the Star Wars movie. And all of a sudden she just got really like, oh, that's lame. I'm like, what are you talking about? Star Wars is great in theaters. Come on. So yeah, I hear what you guys are saying. People are, falling out of love with the movie theaters, but that's kind of how relationships go, right? With anything,
sure,
you fall in and out. But honestly, I think over here, Cinemark is doing a pretty good job. They upgraded their seats. Now it's kind of like interactive.
I love Cinemark.
D-Box,
yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, it's just people. I think people are just looking for something to inspire them, and they're kind of just,
Yeah, no, that's true. So I'm going to make a counter argument, if that's okay.
By all means.
The movie that really brought back cinema from the the pandemic days. Do you guys remember what movie that was that like brought everybody back to theaters?
The Super Mario movie?
No.
I forgot what it was.
It was
Oppenheimer?
Demon Slayer, the Infinite Train.
Oh.
It was Godzilla versus Kong.
Oppenheimer came out after the Mario movie.
Really?
It was Godzilla versus Kong. Godzilla versus Kong kind of brought us back to cinema.
I thought it was Oppenheimer.
Box office numbers
Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Okay.
No, I think the box office numbers do say that, Jumpman, actually, because let me tell you why. Okay, I'm going to explain why. The movie had the guts to go back. Like when everyone was delaying all their movies because of the pandemic. This movie said, hey, you know what? We might make money, we might not. HBO obviously subsidized a lot of that. But the box office, it was actually successful, believe it or not, because of the box office numbers with obviously in tandem with streaming. But I mean, look at all the movies that have came out since then that have done amazing. As we mentioned, Barbie, Oppenheimer, the Mario movie, but also Avatar, The Way of the Water has done extremely well, right? The Batman did pretty decent.
Oh, good movie. Yep.
You know, so we've had good movies. I mean, like literally Spider-Man, No Way Home,
Across the Spider-Verse.
Right? Yeah, and the Across the Spider-Verse, right? So we've had good
No Way
movies.
Home, yeah.
But there seems to be a pushback against the girl boss type movies, if that makes any sense. And whatever that means. Now, going back to Furiosa. Okay, look, I've seen a lot of movies, guys. I watch a lot of movies in theaters, right?
You don't say.
That's cool.
You know, and this is one of the best movies I've seen in theaters this year. Furiosa. It's so good. And the fact that they're talking about, you know, maybe canceling the sequel or this or that, I'm just trying to, like, you know, just I'm not saying that there's a solution to this problem. Obviously, we're just four dudes talking on a podcast, right?
Yeah.
But like the fact that like such an and I get it. Like people are like, well, this is Mad Max without Mad Max. Like I get what they're saying. I really do, you know, but we've there's kind of like this notion that prequels are bad, right? And you know, I think this movie obviously, you know, proves that wrong. But like, I don't know, like for me, like some movies are just a treat to see in theaters. You know, like we mentioned Avatar earlier. That's a movie that okay, if you like the story, maybe you don't like the story, whatever. You hate Avatar, you love Avatar. It's visually stunning. Am I making any sense? Like
yeah.
It's just. Mm-hmm. So much hard work goes into the visuals. It's just crazy how much what they do. And I feel like this movie, yeah, there's some CGI or whatever, but George Miller, I mean, the dude's 79 years old, right? You know, and still directing movies. So look, this is the same guy that directed Happy Feet 1 and 2. Okay, let's just keep that in mind here.
Happy Feet.
That's cool.
Right. This guy was the writer on the movie Babe, right? About the pig, right?
Oh yeah,
like that too. Yeah.
This guy directed Twilight Zone, the movie. This guy's obviously a great director, and I would love to see a sequel to this movie. But I guess my question for you guys is this, and I guess we'll kind of talk to Jumpman about this. Do you feel, just based off of what you're seeing, box office numbers, you know, and I know Ghostbusters didn't do as amazing. Do you feel like people are just tired of movies, or kind of like what JD was saying, or do you feel Marvel's going to come back? Do you feel like some of these other movies, franchises are going to come back, or how do you feel, Jumpman?
I have a feeling people might be getting tired of going to the theater. But I'm very hopeful that Deadpool and Wolverine is going to do really well. I am really looking forward to seeing that.
Okay.
I'm really looking forward to seeing the next Avengers film, wherever that leads to, King Dynasty or whatever it's going to be called now. So that's my stance on Marvel.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna add something to that as well. I am really excited because I just watched the trailer yesterday of Iron Man 4.
Wait, what?
Iron Man 4 released their trailer.
No. I think you saw
Iron Man 4.
Yes.
Is it a fanfic?
No. I think
it's not fanfic. It's the official trailer.
Really?
So it's in production. It's currently in production.
Who's the trailer? Where's the trailer?
Yeah,
guys, we gotta find this trailer.
They wouldn't just shadow drop something like that, or like.
That'd be awesome. We need Iron Man back.
No, I'm pretty sure you saw like a fan thing.
It did not look like a fanfic to me.
Interesting. So, hey guys, if you've seen the Iron Man trailer, please drop a like. Let us know how you like the Iron Man trailer. But yeah, moving forward, guys. Sometimes, guys, you know, there's, you know, Dumbledore says, there's going to come a time where we have to choose between what's right and what's easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that right now, I don't know. It's just it's like, okay, so I was watching, when Godzilla Kong came out, Godzilla Kong: The New Empire came out a couple months ago or whatever. I was watching the movie, and it was a fun movie. I really enjoyed it. Spark, I think you went and saw it, right?
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, fun movie, really good. Now, was it the best movie in the universe? No, but the MonsterVerse. What I like about what they're doing this time is they're making it a lot more, like palatable, for a lot of people. But they're also, putting a good story in there. But we're getting a second season of Legacy of the Monsters, and I need to check that out. Like, I need to watch these things, And so this kind of brings me to my point, kind of something that I want to say. Am I going to go see Deadpool Wolverine in theaters? Probably. I didn't see Captain Marvel in theaters, and I didn't see Guardians of the Galaxy. I still haven't seen either of those movies, and I might not. But the thing is, like Space Buffet, how could you? Well, I mean, my question to those people is, did you guys watch Furiosa, a Mad Max saga? Right, like that's gonna be my question because, and this is nothing against Marvel. I love Marvel. Like, I've loved Marvel since I was a kid, but I can't at this particular point in time, I can't just go out and just mindlessly watch Marvel movies. I got to look at the reviews. I can't be the first. I used to be like day one, like day zero. I used to go to the midnight showings of Marvel movies, and now I really got to wait. You know what I mean? Just because the movies that, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people would agree, the movies that. And once again, I'm just using Furiosa as an example. I get it. A lot of people, they want to see Mad Max, Girl Boss. We're done with Girl Boss stuff. But I think Morbius had a bigger opening weekend than this movie, right? Like, it's kind of what I'm trying to say. So I don't know. We're going to be wrapping it up here pretty soon. Yeah. But I don't know, Spark, what are your thoughts, man? Like, what are your thoughts on what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense. I fully agree. For me, like, Marvel is a hit or miss, but I try to, introduce to my life a different variety of movies, not just one type of genre. Expand my palette. So it makes sense. I would actually rewatch. I'm actually going to rewatch Kong and Godzilla because it's just that awesome.
Look, listen, man. And for me, like, the MonsterVerse is, as a longtime Godzilla fan, obviously Godzilla -1 is on Netflix, guys. If you have not seen Godzilla -1, it's amazing. But as far as the MonsterVerse is concerned, it's been great. It's been really good, and like I said, we're getting a second season of Legacy of the Monsters, and so that's cool what they're doing. There's other, I guess, like the point that I'm a point that I'm trying to get at is that, like, Disney, and nothing against Disney. I love Disney. Disney owns so much. They own Pixar. They own Marvel. They own pretty much everything with Fox. So that includes Avatar. They own so much stuff.
They own The Simpsons.
They own The Simpsons. They own so much stuff. And I'm not saying that this is bad, but we got to support the other franchises. We gotta go watch the MonsterVerse movies. We got to go watch the Mad Max movies. Maybe watch Avatar. And that's fine if we say, well, I'm just not interested. And that's fine. If you're not interested, fine. But then, a lot of the same people then will start complaining about how Marvel movies, it's just nothing but Marvel movies. Like, I'm sick of Marvel movies. So there's got to be a balance, guys, right? That's kind of my point. Am I right? I don't know. I'm just speaking from the soul here as a someone who loves movies, right?
Yeah.
I want to see
in. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, no.
Sorry.
No,
just jumping in. I just dig a little more research and digging. You guys are right. Iron Man 4 is fan made. I like to retract that statement.
It was a good fan made trailer. It was a good fan made trailer.
It fooled me.
Professional level.
So, and,
Now,
so anyways,
now you
guys,
just told our viewers, JD.
you just troll everybody.
I
So,
know I did. I like to retract that statement.
so
Nice.
real quick,
It's funny.
hopefully you guys are convinced now. Like I said, this is not a children's franchise. This is definitely a rated R franchise as far as Mad Max is concerned. But Spark, Jumpman, JD, have we? Hopefully, hopefully you guys continue to go see movies, obviously, and hopefully, we can just get more franchises out there and get more great movies. I think that's what I would like to see, and I think that's what a lot of people would like to see. So, but yeah, I don't know. Closing statements, JD.
I am definitely going to watch Deadpool and Wolverine in theaters. So yeah, I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that one.
Me too.
Okay, that's good. Jumpman, what about you, man? Closing thoughts.
I'm so sorry, JD, but no, there's no Iron Man 4.
Sad.
I wish there was.
I know. I'm very disappointed in that too. It's like Iron Man is one of my favorite heroes.
Well, there's gonna be a Captain America 4.
There we go.
I'm okay.
Spark,
Well,
closing thoughts, my friend.
No love for Anthony Mackie.
That's funny. For me, I'm actually interested in watching the Mad Max series. I've never actually thought about it, but this podcast is actually. I'm actually kind of interested. My interest has been piqued. So
and as mentioned, I'm going to make a disclaimer. This is not a children's franchise. This is post-apocalypse. Every man for himself. The world is all gone to hell, right? Like, and
kind of like Hunger Games, or kind of like.
I feel like Spark would like this franchise.
Look at it like this. It's there's like a Fallout, but like this is like the apocalypse has happened, and now everyone has to survive. Resources are important. There's different factions. We've had to go back in technology and use older vehicles and things like that because electric cars don't work, right? Like it's that franchise. My recommendation to you, Spark, is this. I'm going to make a recommendation to you, friend.
All right.
Go watch Furiosa because it's a prequel. You don't need to watch Fury Road. Go into theaters, watch Furiosa, and you might come out and be like, you know what? I hated that movie. I just despise that movie. or you might come out and say, you know what? Wow, I really like that. I want more of that. In which case, then you can go watch Fury Road, right?
Okay.
That's my recommendation.
Watch the original films first.
You can watch the original films. You can do that, Jumpman.
Yeah,
that's fine.
That's how I am.
That's fine. No, Jumpman, that's fine.
Okay.
And you might love the original films. You might hate the original films, but you know what? You did it. You watched them, right?
Yeah.
So, guys, I'm looking forward to Mad Max: The Wasteland. Hopefully, it gets made. George Miller, I know you're 79, but help us out here. Like Warner Brothers, like help us out, please.
Somebody.
So, somebody help us out. So
bring back Coyote versus Acme.
So there you guys have it. One of the best action franchises of all time. But also, yes, we're going to probably talk about Deadpool Wolverine here pretty soon. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. This has been an amazing episode. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Check out our other YouTube channels. We have The Void Strategy, and we also have The Void Gaming. And you can hit us up on Discord. Visit thevoid.gg, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.